Hello, my name is Adolfo and this is Life of Adolfo. Today I'm going to give the steps on the items that I shipped, the packages that I shipped from Japan to the United States. There's three things that you need to focus before I start the steps. The first one is where did I ship it from? I shipped it from Nagoya, Japan and Tokyo, Japan to Indio, which is in the Coachella Valley in California. And the reason you need to, I say focus on those things is because it took me less than a week for the item to arrive from Japan to the United States, but it all depends where you're shipping it to. For me, I shipped it to California, Indio, which is like a medium-sized small city in Coachella Valley. And the items arrived in Los Angeles. Because the reason I know that is because they give you a tracking number. Number two, pack your package properly. I cannot blame Japan if it was damaged, or California, or the United States, or the flight that it took over, especially since I used to work in the post office in the United States. If you pack it properly, like I did, nothing got damaged. Number three, and this is very, very important, do not pack your items until you get to the post office. You could buy a box in the post office. And the reason I say this, the first one, I did pack it in the post office. There was a barrier in our languages. And at the end, we still went through the process by me explaining to her what's inside the box. The second time, I kind of went a little bit slower. The lady approached me and she told me what's the items in it, even though I already wrote them down and she had them in her hand. And the reason I say she had them in her hand is because the steps that I'm going to show you on how to do the for your post office in Japan, you're going to give them your tracking, and they're going to print it out and they're going to see everything that you're shipping. When she got that paper, she went with me and she would say, what is this? What is that? And the reason is because we'll call it a figurine, we'll call it a decoration, we'll call it a souvenir. And there's like a universal, I assume there's like a universal word that Japan calls it, and probably the United States, that they don't have to be like, what is this thing called a decoration, when they probably call it a figurine. So it's like a proper word for every item. For example, magnets are not allowed. I'm not saying I ship magnets, but they might word it differently. With that being said, these are the steps that you have to do so you could ship your item. So now I'm going to show you the steps on how to ship your items. The first couple of steps, I'm going to call them step A1, A2, A3, and then I'm going to go through step 1, 2, and 3. The first couple of steps are the ones that are going to lead to your parcel, since you have to create a password. The step 1, 2, 3, 4, all the way to 6 are the steps that you have to do so your parcel could be shipped. You could use your Google, Safari, or anything, but I recommend you use your phone. And the reason I recommend you to use your phone is because at the end, you're going to email this number to yourself and you're going to show it to the lady. So right now, step A1, you're going to type in Japan Post COLTD, and you're going to see this JP Post circle. You're going to click on the Japan Post. Step A2, you're going to go, and it's going to be this red headliner top, JP Post, Japan Post, and then there's a menu. You're going to click on the menu. Step A3, you're going to click on the menu and you're going to go to International Parcel Post. On the Parcel Post A4, you're going to see on the right side a login. You're going to type in on the login, you're going to click on the login, and then you're going to click on the first timer on the right side. On the A5, step A5, you're going to fill out your name and all the questions that they're asking, including a password and a questionnaire, a question. And on my address, I put, or you could put what I did, is I put my address of my hotel or my Airbnb, since I ship 2 times. And for the phone, I use the hotel or the Airbnb host number. On A6, I logged in this time. Once I logged in, you're going to go to a website that says International Mail My Page. You're going to click this icon on the bottom, and then you're going to go to login here. It's going to be right below login for the smartphone version here, and that's where you're going to click login here. On the final step, you're going to sign in the email that you put in and the password that you put in earlier. Now we're going to go to the actual steps. Step 1, you're going to put your name, your postal code, your address in Japan, your phone number, your prefecture, and then you're going to click continue. Step 2, now this is the recipient, the person that is receiving the items. You're going to put in their name, their country, their address, double verify their address, the state, their postal code, and their telephone number. You're going to press continue. On step 3, I put in EMS goods, and for shipping method, I put the plane icon. On the bottom, this is where you're going to start putting all the items that you're shipping. For me, I put as in content type gift, and then on the contents, there's going to be a description. You're going to type in the description, you're going to put the origin of the item, where you bought it, the weight, the value, and the quantity. For the value, you're going to do it individually. On the quantity, once you press 2, 3, or 4, it's going to multiply by itself. And after that, you're going to go to content 2, 3 if you have more items. And on the bottom, you go add more contents where it says add content field. Once you're finished with everything, it's going to say the total value. You go type in the value, and you got to click the check mark of the confirmation of dangerous goods, that there's no contents. On step 4, you're going to put the shipping date. For me, I like to do everything the same day. So if the shipping date was the same day that I was going to go ship it, I don't like to forget nothing. The total weight, you could type in any number, because at the end, they're going to weigh the box. I put in non-commercial, then I put continue. On step 5, it's going to show you everything that you put the information so you can verify it from the sender to the recipient. The most important part is the recipient information is correct. On step 6, you're going to leave it on the email, on the item, the email, not another email address, but on the email that you have right there on the first column, and then click send email. When you send the email, you're going to receive an email with the confirmation of your shipping. You show it to the person on the desk of the post office, and she's going to write it down, and then she's going to print it out. Once she prints it out, while you're packaging everything inside the box, she might approach you to ask you questions like, what does souvenir mean? And you show, for me, I didn't close the box, I showed her the item, because it's easier for me for the barrier of the language to be by showing her the item. Once she writes everything that will say that it wasn't a souvenir, it's a decoration, or or a figurine instead of a souvenir, and she writes them down, she'll say, okay, I closed my box. That's the way I did it. She went back to her desk. She printed it out. I went to her desk. I put it on the scale. She already had everything printed out, I believe, again. And then by the scale, she said how much I'm supposed to pay. And that's why one of the steps that it tells you how much everything weighs, you don't have to worry. Because sometimes when you put things in the box, you might put, you're not going to weigh everything individually. In addition, you're going to put wrapper and everything so nothing will get damaged. And once she gives you the price and she tapes everything once you pay her, that's it. It's going to be shipped. That same number that you printed out on your email, you could use it as your tracking when you go to JP Post and go under JP tracking. Type it in there and you already know where your item is at. My item went from Tokyo to the customs, to the plane, to Los Angeles, to the customs, to back to the actual delivery route, to the area where it's supposed to be delivered. And then once it arrived, it'll tell you there that it arrived, or it's in the post office for delivery. And that's one thing that I like, because everything is by step. So hopefully you like my video, and be prepared. It's gonna be, I don't want to give you a number, but for my packages it was over 100. Everywhere that you go in Asia is going to cost over 100 for shipping, or close by. It all depends on the weight. Of course, if you're going to send something heavier, it's going to cost more. So thank you for watching.